Move up the ranks, dominate locally, book more moving jobs, and make more money for your moving company. This is Thomas here, and in today's video, I want to go over service pages for your website. So, what is a service page and why do you need it? So, basically, in the last video, I went over how you can, on your Google business profile, you can put products on your page, and those products are actually your services, right? And once you do that, when somebody's on Google and they're searching for whoever, and they find you and they find that you have itemized and you've shown exactly what you do and you provide, you show that you provide these different types of services, right? They're going to be able to understand what you do, right? And that's going to help Google, because Google really wants to know what you do, right? What services you do and where you do them, right? That's really important for Google. And once Google gets that understanding and that idea of what you do, where you do it, it's going to help. They're going to start to show you and rank you. So that's that's why today I spent this day today creating this service page, and I want to go over it with you really really quickly so you can understand why it's important and what do you need to do to start moving up the ranks. It's actually super super easy, and most businesses fail right here. So this is the service page, right? And you want to create a page that lists the different types of services you provide. Like for instance, I provide local moving services. I don't provide long distance moving services right now, but I do local, right? I also have luxury apartment moving services or just apartment moving services. I do packing and unpacking services. I have furniture assembly and disassembly services, right? So maybe I should just put that here. Do 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 do. I have labor only pod loading services, right? Moving services. I should probably put that on as well. Um, so yeah, why do you do this, and what is it and why do you do it, right? So we're gonna go over all this, right? But this gives you an idea, right? You create a page and you list all the different types of services that you provide on this one page. Okay, that's step number one. So what do you need to do, right? This is an H1 tag, right? It's a header tag. It's HTML, right? It's a header tag, and all you really need to know is a header tag. If you had to code this yourself, it would be super technical, and you don't have to worry about it. But all you need to know is whatever you put here in your H1 tag, there are multiple tags, right? The most important thing is the header 1 and the header 2 tags. um, Whatever you put in your header 1 tag, it gives Google an idea of what you do. Just drinking my water. So Google is able to read and crawl this website and understand that I am a professional mover. I provide professional moving services in New York City. Understands that, right? Because it's in my header tag. Most businesses, I looked up some statistics and I found that most businesses, probably more than half of them, do not do this in their header tag. They have something else here, right? So Google is never able to understand what they do because sometimes they don't even edit it, right? So your H1 tag, you only have one. It should tell Google what you do and where you do it, ideally. Okay. So once you've done that correctly, amazing. You're probably like, if you put a H1 tag, a header 1 tag on your services page, and you type in moving services, that's like you're probably ahead of like 50% of the movers. But if you put moving services in wherever the area or the region you cover, you're probably doing better than, like, I would say 75% of moving companies. All right. There's a lot of people who don't do this, and they probably don't know where to start. They've never looked into it. They're not going to hire an agency or anybody to help them. I don't really want to be an agency. I just want to help you, give you advice, share information that I learned. Who knows? Maybe I'll start an agency, but it's not really my goal right now. But I do come from a marketing background, a digital marketing background, and I also know how to code a little bit. So I understand some of these things and these concepts. So all you need to know is if you did that right, it just gives Google a really, an understanding of what you do. So after your H1 tag, which is this one right here, this is a paragraph tag, right? See, it's a paragraph, right? I'm not going to turn it into another H1. I'm going to turn this into a paragraph. And I just totally changed the color. I did not intend to. But so this paragraph is just, it should give people an understanding of what you do, right? So I wrote this out myself, and I would recommend that you write it out yourself too and try to use AI as little as possible. Um just because, you know, people are gonna come here and they're gonna, your clients are actually gonna spend a little bit of time reading or scanning, right? And we're just so tired. The internet is tired of AI fluff. Even Google is also trying to, they want to see less AI, right? They want you to, you know, it's like I would just encourage you to write it yourself if you can, right? If you have the abilities to write and to communicate in words, just do it. Don't use AI for everything, right? Use AI to get some help and so you get some understanding of what you should put on the page, right? But I really wrote out wrote most of the content myself. Sometimes I use a little bit of AI, but I try to put everything in my own words, right? You want to speak to your ideal clients when you're making your website, right? You want to communicate with them, and you want you want them to know that you're a real person, right? Because this is what people value, right? They want to hire a person. They don't, they want to, oh, well, some people want that personalized experience, right? But people are so tired of having to talk to a chat bot. Some people are really tired of having to read AI fluff, right? People are tired of, calling a 1-800 number and not reaching a person, right? Like the more personalized you can make personal professional services, the better. So I would write this out yourself, right? And that's a paragraph tag. That's what all you really need to know. I'm gonna obviously change all the photos here, right? Because this today all I did was working on the technical side and the content, right? And all you really need to know, and this is one thing I'm working on next, is just getting my media assets, right? You want to get digital assets that communicate what you do, where you do it, right? So I'm going to probably spend a day taking photos of things as I'm out and about in the field, or if I have a day off, I'm going to take a lot of photos that I can eventually use on my website. So I would encourage that you take a day to just go outside and take photos of everything. Take photos of your equipment, take photos of your truck, take photos of the different areas that you service, take photos of the boxes, take photos of everything, and just like build up your chest of all digital assets so that you can use them on your website. That's one thing I would recommend, and that's one thing I'm going to be working on. But back to like the video and what, if you're just tuning in right now, this video is about how to create your service area page, your services page. And the idea behind it is just to list all the different services on your service page, right? So all right, so let's move along to the next thing here, which is this is an H2 tag, right? As you remember, if you were here before, there was an H1 tag and there's an H2 tag, right? And the H2 tag also helps Google understand what you do, right? So, you know, this is where you kind of keyword stuff, because these are things that can show up if people type in like local moving services. Google is going to find, all right, they're going to know that you provide local moving services, and this is a way to keyword stuff, the keywords, right? So put all of your different types of moving services or services within the moving uh industry, the moving work that you do, put them all here, right? So again, H2 tags for, so my local moving services, this text is inside of an H2 tag, okay? And if you could guess, these are also paragraph tags, right? This just like before up here, this is just a paragraph tag, and it explains further what the service is, which is local moving services, right? These are paragraph tags. Okay. So um, within the paragraph tags is just text. You probably want to you want to be between 100 and 200 words. Again, just write it in your own natural tone. It's not as difficult. Just do it. If you need to use AI, go ahead, but you can do it. You can write. And the great thing is, so in the past, people would keyword stuff all the keywords into here, right? But Google doesn't really want you to do that anymore. It doesn't care if you're here and you're typing in your favorite keywords 100 times, like moving New York City, like, and you just keyword stuff it a million times. Don't do that. Google doesn't want you to do that. They're also optimizing for like user experience and people's experience on your website, right? So what you want to do here is paragraph. So just write it out. What kind of moving services do you do? Where do you do it? Right. Just to give you an idea, right? Describe your services. So here again, this right here is a paragraph tag, and it describes the luxury apartment moving services that I provide in New York City, right? Again, over here, this describes the packing and unpacking services that I provide, right? This paragraph explains the furniture assembly and disassembly services that I provide. And then finally, labor only pod loading moving services. This paragraph describes the labor only pod loading moving services that I provide. Cool. All right. So if you've done all that, then oh my gosh, like, give yourself a round of applause. That's amazing. Like, that's a lot. You really have communicated, what you do, what kind of, like, you're really showing Google what you do, right? And Google is going to have a better understanding of what you do, so you need these service pages. Okay. So um just to kind of go off, we're going to probably just I'm going to go over the all of the H2 tags and the paragraph tags and what you really kind of need to do in here. So I don't want to read everything that I wrote out to you, right? It's a lot. And I want you to put things in your own words, honestly, because it's just, at the end of the day, you're going to be the one communicating with your clients. You need to put things into your own writing, right? Your own brand voice, right? You should have a brand image. You should have a brand, you should be a brand, and people should know you as a certain thing, right? And you want to have a brand voice and communicate in that brand voice. So, the most important thing though is there's this thing that Google is searching for. It's called EAT, and it's actually spelled EEAT. And the first E is expertise. So Google wants to know that you have expertise, right? So one way Google knows that is, well, that's why like the number of years you've been in business is really important. If you've had your Google business profile for 5 years, you're better off than somebody who has only had it for 6 months, right? Because they're looking for expertise, right? And how else do they know if you have expertise? It's based on the quality of like the words you use and how you describe things, right? Like, like, if do you use like phrases such as white glove delivery services, COI moving, right? So that's why, write things in your own words and show that you are an expert. That's what Google wants to know, right? So if AI is able to do that for you, then great. But if not, you should do it right in a way so that Google knows you're an expert. Okay, that's the first thing I want you to know. Um, yeah, expertise. So it's EEAT. The first E is expertise, right? The second E is experience, right? So show that show your experience, describe your experiences, right? If you pull up different examples, if you pull up stories, it's going to help in your content, right? You want to be seen as an expert with experience. The A in EAT is authority, so it's all very, very similar, right? Show that you're an authority figure, right? How do you do that? You can get reviews on your site, right? This is why we're going to move on to the next one. uh yeah, authority, right? How do you get authority? Yeah, you can show the different clients that you've worked with. I worked with the New York Jets. I worked with a player in the New York Jets that actually hired me. I won't say their name, but Yeah. Then I also have worked with, this is I think the Jonas Brothers popcorn company. So it was like, yeah, we worked with their brand. Somebody hired me who was working with them, and I had to move popcorn, which is really cool. EXP Realty is like a real estate realtor company. I have partnerships with different realtors, and they refer me work. But this shows authority, right? It shows that I, I'm a legit moving company. So, and then the last one was called Manhattan Classic Car Club. They're cool. Um, so yeah, um, let's just go back up real fast. Um, this I put like pro tips here is just another way of showing authority, right? Hey, I have like advice, right? I'm an authority figure, so that's why I put pro tips. Um, use pro tips as well. If you're a real legit moving company, if you have even a little bit of experience, I'm pretty sure you have something that you can recommend to your clients. Just put pro tips there. That'll be really helpful for you. So let's move on, because we could talk about this forever, and I would love to do that. It's so fun. It's so fun to make these videos and just to keep myself accountable too, because it gives me another thing to work on. And when I finish working on it, I just upload this video so that you get this information and I get this stuff done. So areas of service is really cool. This is gonna eventually we're gonna make different pages showing where we service our areas, right? Where our service areas lay. And it kind of makes sense, right? You have different services that you provide. Google wants to know where do you do them, right? Google wants to know what you do, where you do them, right? So this is going to give Google an idea. So, I chose four different locations, and um, obviously I want to be servicing more than just these four locations, but I just chose four for now. I have to swap all these images out, right? But what you want to do here, you want to use like words like we, and you want to do like storytelling, right? It's going to help the algorithm. It's going to help see that you're not just writing fluff, right? AI fluff, because who really wants to read that stuff? So yeah, you want to use like we. You also want to like explain different challenges and things that you've had to navigate. It's gonna just help. It's just gonna make the content more interesting to read. So put different stories when you've had different challenges and how you navigated them. Put stories right in the frame of we, and show that you're like a legit team. Um, Again, we talked about this before. This shows like trust and authority, right? That's really important. Google wants to know you're a trustworthy person and you're an authority figure. You've worked with different clients in the past. Um, okay, let's move along. So this is the next section, right? So okay, let's go back up here. This, just for you to know, this is an H2 tag, as we discussed earlier. This is a paragraph. Um, right? And then these are like images and there's text in the image. So these, I don't believe these are any tags. I don't think these are H2 tags or anything like that down here. That's fine. Um, yeah, so this is an H2 tag, right? These H2 tags are gonna help with like I said, just keyword stuffing and getting Google to know who you are, what you do, right? So maybe people don't type in why choose brotherly movers, but it's gonna be helpful. This type of information on the page gets the clients to figure out why they should choose you over the competition. So put information here. um, be descriptive, right? You could put your DOT number, because Google is also crawling that and it's reading it and saying, wow, this person is a real person, right? They're using data and information, and they're able to see, oh my god, they're a real moving company, we trust them, right? Google wants to see that you can be trusted, right? And you're trustworthy. And how do you show that you're trustworthy? You show your USDOT number. That looks way more trustworthy than a company that doesn't have that information, right? So put your USDOT number. It's going to help. I put words like transparent pricing, every mover is background checked. It's just got all stuff that's just gonna help Google understand that we're trustworthy, right? Rated 5 stars, again, trustworthy. Um, so yeah, once you do all that, you are super super close to being done. I still have to do a bunch of stuff on this page, by the way. There's stuff like called internal linking, where you put something on the page and it links to a different like a different part of your page, right? So, for instance, this is like perfect. This is a perfect example. Areas we serve. If you click here, it's gonna take you to another page on my website that shows that I am a mover in Great Neck. Okay, just like all of these, right? Maybe over here I put a link to this, and this takes them to my blog, which has my moving tips, where I tell people to use ratchet straps or show them how to use ratchet straps. Right? That's an example. So that's yeah. If you've done all of that, really really good job. If you need any help, let me know. I'm using this site called duda.co. um but if you use WordPress or anything else, it's very very similar. I don't know if I want to be a developer or an agency or anything like that, right? But I want to give you guys the tools and the understanding, because I don't think anybody has done that for moving companies. And most moving companies are just, you know when you start your business, everything has an expense. Like, you have to pay for materials, and you have to pay for insurance, you have to pay for software, right? And then, it's like you have to pay for marketing, right? Pay for advertising. But if you're really just starting out, and you want to, and you want to, or you have to, or you want to save some money, like, you just learn how to do it yourself. And that's why I'm here. That's why I'm here teaching you. All right, so it's great. We're like 20, almost 22 minutes in, and I didn't expect us to get this far, but we're here. So, um, over here, this is also an H2 tag, what our clients say, and we're going to start to show more trust testimonials, right? Remember, EAT, expertise, experience, authority, trust. So, this is going to show Google, what other people have said about us, right? So I've I've linked my Google business profile reviews, so that Google understands, hey, these guys are legit, right? They're a real moving company. So put your reviews here, link it to your Google business profile reviews. And also, just this again, I put some of my reviews in the past on this page. And you may ask, can I just link my Google business reviews here, or should I type them out, right? And so I just copied and paste here. The benefit of typing it out is that Google is going to scan and read through these reviews and understand, oh, okay, they're a moving company, and oh, people have left reviews, right? So do I would say just do both, right? Have a place where you can link to the Google business profile reviews, and also put the text on the page. It's just going to help for the scanning and for Google's algorithm, all that stuff. So have fun with that. You don't have to put too many, right? I would put like 3 or 4. Put your best ones. And yes, I put 4. I'm gonna have to swap the photos out for my clients. And another thing that I have to do on this page, which I kind of already mentioned, was just putting images, right? So all the images here, you have to get the media assets. And yeah, put images. Okay, so I think that's pretty much it. We're almost at the end here. Thanks for tuning in. If you're still here, I hope you found this video to be helpful. I spent the whole day doing this, so yeah, so you don't have to. Obviously, I don't want you to copy and paste my stuff, but I want to give you an understanding, right? And yeah, if you need help, let me know, because this is what I'm here for. So in the end, the bottom, this is just like a call to action. This is all you really want to do with the call to action. Just, here it is. It's just ready to go over the details of your move. We're here to help. And there's a button just to talk to me, right? Just call to action, get a free quote, whatever it is, book the move, right? Just give them a call to action. Um, And I put this over here just because I like it. 100% customer satisfaction promise. If anything isn't right, we'll make it right, guaranteed. Um, but yeah, put that over there. And the last thing I put was written by the Brotherly Movers team. Just shows a little bit more that we didn't use AI. We didn't hire an agency. We're doing it ourselves. It's cool. Um, Let me see. I've taken notes and I think that's pretty much everything in this video. If you do all that, congratulations. You're one step further, and if you need any help, let me know. In on another note, though, just to give you an update. So, you know, yesterday I was talking about like getting reviews and getting your review count up, increasing the velocity and the volume of reviews you get daily, right? Or weekly. I was saying you should optimize for reviews, right? Not for revenue. And I really believe that. So that's the next thing I'm going to also focus on is like, I'm going to test it and see um, if I get like 5 reviews a week, will my customer interactions go up? Will I start getting more calls? Right. So that's the next step. Hope you found this video helpful, and if you liked it, just subscribe so you can find more videos in the future. And best of luck to you.